I'd like to move on to talk about a problem we often see in enterprise web development, and also to talk about how Glue, a product that Tick42 are launching, can help. So Glue for Office, this is a plug, Glue for Office allows you to work directly with Excel, Word, and Outlook in real time from your web apps. So instead of spending your time looking for the next greatest, best JavaScript grid that's going to be almost as good as Excel, why not make your users happy, give them what they love most at work, which is Excel. But the problem I mentioned, the problem I want to talk about, the problem that Glue is there to help fix, is summed up by the idea that the architecture we live in restricts what we think is possible, both politically and maybe emotionally, but also I'm going to talk about technical stuff here because it's a developer summit. So you often find this expressed by talking to developers, and they talk about their users and what their users do in their app with their data. And in the enterprise, this is, of course, bollocks. That's a technical term meaning complete crap. Remember, in the enterprise, your user is a person, and they do lots of things during their day. They spend some time running your app, but spend a lot more of their time with our old friends. Well, obviously not Clippy, but the rest you probably recognize. And I think this failure to think about how our users really spend their time, and in particular, what else they're doing when they're working with our app, follows from the way our technical architecture conditions how we think and really restricts what we can imagine. So for web developers, the principal cause of this blindness, in my opinion, this thinking in silos, this inability to see the green fields that kind of lie behind the facades, is caused by the browser sandbox. This sandbox obviously restricts our applications from interacting with most anything. And the requirement for this sandbox comes from the public web. And on the public web, trust is almost impossible. And in the absence of trust, the browser must restrict the user to work in a single window. Now, obviously, on the public web, a sandbox is vital. You search for a link, you click on it without a sandbox, that would be suicidal. But in the enterprise, our users are connecting to secure internal servers, running either internally developed software or commercial apps such as Salesforce and Office. And the software on our internal servers has been scanned and reviewed for security issues. Our users are running behind firewalls, and they're running on lockdown PCs, often with no local admin privileges. All of which leads to the question, is the browser sandbox useful for the corporate users running internal applications? And we would answer no. And Glue from Tick42 allows your applications to escape the sandbox, but in a useful and above all safe way. It can be used in the browser, and it can also be used in desktop containers like Electrons for those of you who are using a kind of desktop experience in your web apps.